What's happening, ladies and germs? This is the PackerMan, and this is the second episode of Green Gold Games. And we're now here on World 5 of my Super Mario Brothers run-through. And right there, if you hit the green shell at the beginning and hit all the enemies, then you get a 1-up. Now here is one hell of a wombo combo that I pulled off. I don't even know how the hell I managed to do that, but that was awesome. And if you, there's a little bit of a few differences from the previous episode. You'll notice that the screen is much bigger, and at the bottom of the screen you'll notice that you can actually see my controller inputs, which at first I thought was kind of annoying, but as I did some more testing I was kind of like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. And that feature will actually come in handy later on during my next LP, so which will hopefully be coming this Tuesday. The reason why this upload is coming a little bit late was because the Daytona 500 tonight ran a little bit long, so it's one of the reasons why this video is coming out so late. And my first episode of The Fuel, where I reviewed the Daytona 500, will be this coming Wednesday. And then after that is the first episode of Final Analysis Uncensored, which is the day after, on Thursday. So this week is going to be a very busy week for me. And then tomorrow will be, I believe, the last episode of Flea Market Hunter for the time being, at least until flea market season picks back up. But enough about that. Let's get back into the game here. Of course, there's more Hammer Brothers. Yay! Now we're into the third time. Actually, this is either the second or third time we've been in a water area. And like I said, there's only 2 maps of an underwater area. This is a bonus area, though, if you want to call it that. And we'll see the same thing in a later level. Now, if you come out of there, the Hammer Brothers that typically appear right here, well, they won't. And I believe this is the first one of the first appearances of the Buzzy Beetles. Ooh, I almost failed that jump right there, but I did that one. And that was a fail on my part too, so all of a sudden this little run through 5-2 is going south, but I managed to make it to the exit. Fireworks! And World 5-3, and I think this is one of the first cases of the repeating map. If you recall, this is the same level as World 1-3, just minus the bullet bills. And there's also shorter platforms. And this is one of them glaring flaws that I was talking about in the previous episode, where it just seemed like the original Mario just started reusing the same levels over and over, just with more enemies. In this case, it's bullet bills that basically come out of nowhere on the right side. Whoa! Dodge that one. Of course, like the first episode, this commentary is dubbed because I play a lot better when I don't have to do live commentary. Now we've come to what is without a doubt my least favorite level in this entire game, Castle 5-4, which was Castle 2-4. But now you have these leaping fireballs and that giant ass ball of flaming chain wasn't there, and now every single one of the blocks contains the fireball chains. How I managed to survive that, I'll never know. And there are fireballs leaping out of the lava here, whereas before, that wasn't the case. What I hate about them leaping fireballs is that their timing is so erratic. Whoa. And of course there's one right here as well. But thankfully I managed to get through this without losing a damn life. So I managed to clear my least favorite level in the game. Thank goodness. And it's time for World 6, which is another night area. And of course, it starts off with Lakitu. Yay! Of course, killing him here is pretty easy. All you have to do is just jump onto this block, wait for him to come by, and boom. Dead. But of course, after a minute or two, he respawns, so yay. I believe right here is a fire flower. That is, if you're Super Mario. And of course, with that fire flower, I can shoot him out of the sky. And of course, with the ending platforms near the end of these levels, you're going to start seeing big gaps in between them to kind of throw you off. Here we're going to start to see an overabundance of pipes in this area. Of course, filled with the piranha plants, of course. And spinies. Or the buzzy beetles, rather. And of course, here's the level that we just saw in the previous world. Except this time it has smaller platforms. But other than that, nothing's changed. Now you're thinking, oh my god, that's a pretty big gap. But you can make it pretty easily. Just gotta get a running start. Starman. Oh, and be careful. You saw right there I did a crouching jump. Be careful doing that because you can't throw any fireballs while you're doing that. And you stay locked in that crouching jump until you hit the ground. So now we've come to another treetop level, although this one is a unique one. And very treacherous. this part. You don't really have enough momentum to jump up onto that upper platform without first going onto the side platform right there to the left. And of course, this area has bullet bills. Yeah, be careful with those plungers because they can launch you far, as I just demonstrated right there. There, I don't know what the hell happened. But just like that, I wasted 2 lives on that damn plunger. Well, you know what they say, 3rd time's a charm. Now we're into Castle 6-4. And if you'll notice some similarities, this was the castle from the very first one, Castle 1-4. Except now it's a lot more dangerous. With the balls of chain, and there's an example of how stiff the controls are. Because I went to the left, tried to turn it back to the right, and yeah. Like I said, you gotta be careful with your jumps because this is not like the later Mario games. The controls in this are extremely stiff. Right there I just said screw it, because I'm just gonna lose the mushroom anyways. And this edition of Bowser throws hammers, and I completely mistimed that run. And much like the other castles, if you die, you gotta go all the way back to the beginning. No checkpoints. Which, I would imagine when this game first came out, was pretty damn brutal. Whoa, that was a nice little jump I did right there. Now, if it wasn't for the fact... Hold on. Well, I guess it won't let me do it without pausing it. What I wanted to do was basically show you with a marker that fireball right there is typically well, it's okay, let me try this again. Hammer Brother Bowser is typically not that difficult, but with that fireball right where the bridge is, it makes it a lot more difficult than it should be. But nonetheless, we've made it to World 7. And 7-1 is nothing but Bullet Bill Hell. Here I'm just seeing if there's a freaking fire flower, but then I remembered, oh yeah, there's one over here. Because that block right there is a power-up. And here's where World 7 begins to lose some of its originality. Because we're back underwater once again, and it's the same damn level as 2-2. Only with more enemies, like I said before. And World 7-3 basically does the exact same thing. As I'll show you in a minute. And now here's World 7-3. Remember the bridge run with the Cheep Cheeps? Well, it's back again. Except this time they've thrown in Koopas to try to throw off your jumps. Thankfully, from here on out, it's all original levels. We're done with the repeating stuff. Sort of. World 7-4 copies a little bit of a thing from World 4-4, where you have to take a certain path to progress forward. And there, I just completely fudged up that jump. Alright, here, you go up the top level, or no, actually. That's right, you go to the bottom level first, jump up to the middle, and then jump up to the top. For this level, you go up to the top, drop down, not the way that I just took. Took me a second to remember it. Top level first, drop down, second platform, next platform after that, jump over, boom, done. And of course, much like the previous world, gotta deal with this. And once again, that jumping fireball, it's a pain in the ass. If it wasn't there, this would be a lot easier, because you have to take, but with the fireball there, you have to take into account the hammers and the damn fireball. So your first objective is to try to get past the fireball. And that was not an example of how to do that. But I think you understand why that jumping fireball on the bridge is an annoying pain in the ass. So in that case, I decided to be a little aggressive and get past the fireball before Bowser started throwing his hammers, and it worked. And we're past World 7. It's balls to the wall from here on out. And World 8 is appropriately difficult, because this level only gives you 300 seconds and it's a long level, so you can't waste too much time. I didn't mean to go in the pipe right there. I was trying to position myself to hit the coin block, but accidentally went into the pipe. If memory serves me correctly, I think that's the last life I lose in this run. Here's where the jumps start to get really difficult. You have to have some precise timing on some of these jumps. Like that one, and like that one. And right here. World 8-2. A world that you could spend an infinitesimal amount of time on. And of course, there's Lakitu at the beginning. However, once you kill him, he's gone. He doesn't respawn from this point. Whoops. You want to hit that plunger right there, because that reveals a 1-up, which is one of the reasons why I say, yeah, you could play this level an infinitesimal amount of times, because if you die past this point, as long as you get the 1-up, you'll have an infinite amount of opportunities to clear the level. Now, obviously, I want this mushroom, kind of important. Now here's a shit jump. Can't imagine how many people failed with that jump. But the trick is you gotta run off the pipe, keep running, and then on the last block, hit the jump button, and you should clear the gap. I can't imagine how many lives were lost at that particular gap. Probably a couple 100,000, maybe more than that. Because that was a nasty gap to cross. Now we come to World 8-3 with the wall. And this is a level that can be easy or annoying or difficult depending on if you have the fire flower. Because this level has the most Hammer Brothers in the entire game. 8 total Hammer Brothers. Now, one of these blocks is a fire flower. You just gotta find it. There it is. But yeah, 4 of the Hammer Brothers really shouldn't be that much of an issue because of the platforms. Of course, I just nailed that guy blind. Yeah, the first 4 aren't too difficult. It's the next 4, depending on if you have the fire flower or not. That can be a pain in the ass because they're on the ground. There's 5, there's 6, there's 7, there's 8. And then there's this. But we finally made it. Bowser's True Castle. Now Bowser's Castle, as you can tell from the background, to make it different, is basically a maze. And it's a long maze. And the interesting thing about this is if you have the fire flower, what will happen is if you defeat any of the other Bowsers with the fire flower, it'll reveal that it was an imposter, showing a different enemy. However, in this case, if you defeat Bowser with the fire flower, it's actually Bowser. Also, while recording this level, this was extremely laggy in some points, easily the laggiest level of the game, recording wise anyways. I don't know if it was because of the extra effects in the background or what, but kind of annoying. Now we come to the final quote-unquote underwater area that can somehow support fireball chains. Don't question it, it's just video game logic. And let's not forget that this was back in 1985, so yes, it doesn't make much sense, but you know. Here's where it got really laggy for a bit because of all these frickin' bloopers. And now we reached the final area of the game. And there was the final Hammer Brother. The timing on that leaping fireball is a bit annoying. And now here we are. And that's it. And you notice that the boss music was different too. And this is different too, which I thought was pretty cool. And that'll do it for this episode of Green and Gold Games. We've completed Super Mario Brothers. Yay! That's all for today. Thank you very much for watching. As always, this is the PackerMan signing out. Till next time.